Hi, Brad. Thanks for joining us today. Me and Cherry, we're going to host you with the CA Rise. So we have, of course, a few questions, and thank you for responding to our request and kind of spending a few minutes with us today. So can you tell us how did you get started, and how did you open up in the company C&A Tools?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. I greatly appreciate the opportunity. Basically, 33 years ago, in 1989, I was a salesman for a local potato chip company, believe it or not, driving around in my truck, selling chips to grocery stores. And a neighbor of mine said, "Hey, I just got a job working over here at a local tool and die shop. I run a cylindrical grinder. I work nights. I make decent money. I'm able to take care of my family. And as a potato chip salesman, I was not making ends meet. Okay. So it just happened to be, it was my local route where I lived. So I would stop in C&A Tool, knock on the door, go up to the founder and say, "Hey, I'm ready to go to work if you're ready to hire me." And I would bug him almost every day. I would happen to stop when he's having breakfast in the morning. Okay. He'd be sitting there having breakfast. I'd walk up, say, "Mr. Conroe, I'd really like to go to work for you. When are you ready to put me to work?"
Wow.
And finally, I wore him down, and he put me in front of a cylindrical grinder on second shift 33 years ago. So I worked my way up through the company. I ended up the manager of the building where I was originally hired into and what I was doing. I did that for 8, 9 years. Then I got promoted to be a project manager. Did that for 9 years. And then 3 or 4 years ago, got promoted to be the industrial sales manager with my potato chip sales background to be a salesman for C&A Tool. That's in a nutshell. That's how it started.
Wow, this is awesome. This is awesome. But from potato chip to, well, highly complex industry, and yeah. So what type of product can showcase your capabilities, guys? Because some people even never heard it. Some people do heard it who's in the industry, So just few sentences on that.
Okay, so we're a large machine shop. Okay, we have 5 separate divisions. We're very diverse. So we do everything from implants and instruments for the medical industry, flight controls and rotationals for the aerospace industry. We do like fuel injection systems for diesel trucks. We do also all of the industrial side, like for energy, for green energy, for oil and gas. We even do this little part that's really cool that I seen one that actually I had some tree roots grow into a drain in my front yard under my driveway. And they brought this part out and ran it through under my driveway to clean the roots out. And they took it out and I looked at it. Hey, we make that part. That part is made for a company in Colorado called Stone Age. And it's a water jet product for cleaning out drains. So, we do a lot of different stuff very well. And that's kind of what would showcase what we do.
Wow. How big is the machine, the smallest and to the biggest you're saying you can do, guys?
We can do anything from like 3 millimeters in diameter all the way up to 41 inches in diameter, 10 feet long. So we're very diverse depending on the industry. We've got the very skilled labor force to take care of just about anything you need. What we don't do is gears, coatings, and heat treat. Almost everything else is done in-house.
Wow, this is amazing. And when you said you got promoted to the manager, how do you actually, I know you into sales and you in the manager, how do you control the timeline with the project, and you can estimate when it's done, when it's not done? Right now it's a big issue with the supply chain and a lot of things on the back order. So I just want to hear that part.
That's really a good question. I mean, the scenario is what my experience has been is your attention to detail takes care of everything. You have to deal with it up front. When you're quoting a job, you need to make sure you get your tools quoted. What's the timeline on the tools? Your material. Right now, it is so difficult to get material on time. There is such a strain on that. And you need to make sure the customers understand, I may have this right now in 2 weeks as far as the bar stock, and then all of a sudden somebody jumps in and buys it, and now I'm 3 months. Okay, so attention to detail right up front at the very beginning. The worst thing you can do is get 3 weeks down the line and realize you missed ordering a tool that may take 6 weeks. Okay, the attention to detail right up front, and don't procrastinate. If you need it, order it, get it in-house. That way it's there. And then there's the communication with the people on the outside. If you have to go to outside services, constantly communicate and make sure that they're upfront and they've got what you need.
I see. All right.
Awesome. So apparently you have been super accomplishing with 33 years of long ride in the industry. You're definitely seasoned. What have been the most challenging or difficult job you ever have done?
Okay, so me personally, the most difficult thing I'd ever done was an implant. It was a metal-to-metal hip implant that I ground. It would have been 25 years ago. Okay, so this implant, what was most difficult about it was a finish on the inside. The finish had to be a 0.25 micro inch with a negative skew. Okay, so the negative skew is telling you that you have to have a sharp valley and a flat top. So when you grind, that does that really well. Okay, and then you have to polish, because you'll get down to about a 1 or to 2 micro inch. Then you have to hand polish, and the more you hand polish, the more that skew moves positive. So it's getting the finish as close as you can, grinding, and doing as little polishing as possible to get under the 0.25. That was, for me personally, the most difficult. As a company, that has to be the rotationals that go inside of a jet engine. We do a lot of prototypes for those guys. And the programming side, we're fortunate to have very gifted programmers at C&A Tool that can program this very complex process, especially in the 5-axis mill. You see the mill turning, the tools turning, everything going on simultaneously at the same time for this to happen. It is utterly impressive to see it.
So,
and just to think that somebody was able to program that.
So I just want to ask you, since you're dealing with this complex project, how many people you manage kind of under your management that you put them in direction what to do and you stand on top of them?
I personally don't have any of them in my direction. I mean, I'm a sales manager, so I'm dealing with what would be the business unit managers and their teams on the commercial side. As far as a company, I mean, we have 600 plus employees.
Wow.
Okay.
You're saying
and 700,000 square feet of space. And understand, these are very skilled employees. Okay. Everybody was brought in, and you pretty much stay in the discipline that you started in. That would be where you become an expert. If you're operating an EDM, you're an expert. Your career is running that EDM. Same way if you're a grinder, or you run a mill or a lathe, or even different disciplines within the turning side of it. You're an expert in that discipline. Okay, so that's what you do. And if you don't have those skilled people, it becomes extremely difficult to grow, to 700,000 square feet. Everybody has to pull their weight and do their part.
Wow, impressive. 600 people. Wow.
That's really awesome to hear. As you know, manufacturing USA has been really challenging. Not only the labor shortages, but extremely important is the skilled labor, like you're talking about. So with that said, I have to think you guys did something good to be able to attract and retain so many skilled laborers. Can you tell us a little bit, how did you differentiate yourself on the marketplace? Not only attract the labor, but also your customer would put their confidence in you and, give you so many challenging job for you to perform.
Okay, it is a challenge right now today to retain and to draw in labor. I don't think it's any different for anybody right now. It's so competitive out there, and especially in our section here in Northeast Indiana, there's so many machine shops, so much competition. It's really difficult. What sets us aside is, number one, our size, okay, and our extremely clean environment. Okay, we take a great deal of pride in our cleanliness. Every time somebody comes through, they always compliment our janitorial staff on how great of a job they do. If you have a clean environment, you take more pride in what you do and what you send out the door. So that is a big part of what we do. And, it's a big part of when people come in, they want to come in and see, that you're not walking on a dirt floor, and the most technical piece of equipment is a vise. Okay. They want to see quality equipment. They want to see a clean atmosphere, because that's what they want coming back to them. So with quality people, it's so nice when we bring people in, our customers, and we show them what we do, and they talk to these guys. They understand the guy in front of the machine knows what he's doing. And most of the time, they're going to understand what that part does for a living. Okay. So for example, you're making a difference in society today if you're in manufacturing. We don't make our own product. We're contract manufacturing. We make everybody else's product. So our job is to be your solution to your problem. Okay. In that same vein, we start looking at what we're doing, and if you're doing stuff for the human body, you're helping society. Okay. You're doing stuff to help society. It's such a great opportunity. And you can go home after running your machine all day and understand, look, I did something to help somebody. I did something to help all of us. So, that's a big part of it.
All right. So we have a few really interesting things about C&A Tool, and you guys managing 600 people. It's enormous. I mean, it's a big, we've been to a few plants, but it's impressive what you're saying, and have you going over, and you have really skilled employees, guys, over there. So when the people gonna watch this, they want to reach out to you. What is the best way to reach out to you, Brett?
Okay, so the best way would be through our website, which is catool.com. And then just go through the sales side. It'll prompt you through some questions. You'll be able to put in your email address and phone number. And then either myself or Adam Heller will get back to you. He's the other sales manager with the company. Or you can give us a call at 260-693-2167. And we're one of those companies that still have a receptionist that'll answer the phone during our business hours. And then she can direct you to whomever you need to talk to. So that's the best way to get a hold of us. And again, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Having the opportunity.
Yeah. Before you go, what is the nugget you can give to the people? For example, if somebody watching and they're young in 20 years, in their 20s, or in the 30s, what is the nugget you can give them? One thing they can implement and start doing the sales and grow their business.
It's all about effort. It's all about networking. It's all about being in the right place at the right time with the right product. On the sales end, that's the secret to all of it. And the big thing is always be working and always be talking to people. The more people you know, the more chances for success that you're going to have. Wow.
Good hit. Good hit. All right, Brad. Pleasure to hear you. Thank you for your time.
Okay.
Sure.
And not, I don't want to, everybody says the same thing. My name's Brian.
Brian,
Bradtmiller is my last name, and everybody gets it wrong.
Oh.
I go by Brad as much as I go by Brian, and it's okay. I'm good with it. That way when something goes wrong, I can always blame Brad.
That's good.
That's so cool.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's all good. I just the name's Brian Bradtmiller. And if anybody wants to reach out, I'd be happy to talk to him.
All right, cool. Thank you, Brian.
Okay,
See ya.
Awesome, Brian. Take care.
thanks. Bye.
Bye.